the last man on earth, the infamous sword god. He moves like the wind, cutting through his opponents like falling leaves. His combat power, achieved through life and death battles with the enemies of mankind. The Otherworlders, who are also called the enemies of mankind, are creatures who invaded the world of the sword god, killing innocent people to uproot the very existence of humans. Being the last human on Earth, he battles to survive alone for 10 years, cutting through whoever stands in his way. The sword god kills the generals of the enemies as he meets the Monster King. He engages in a battle whereby the slightest bit of hesitation means death. He jumps into mid-air as the Monster King strikes him down with one blow. The sword god sees a crystal chain hanging around the neck of the Monster King. He grabs the handle of his sword with his palm and throws it with great speed and strength. The sword breaks the speed barrier as it pierces through the body of the Monster King. This would have been a moment of victory, but the injuries attained from the fight was too great for him to heal from. He watches a shooting star for the last time as his spirit moves to another dimension. A boy named Dokgojin from another world is at his deathbed as his spirit meets with the spirit of the sword god. He says that he is about to die, but he seeks a favor from the sword god to protect his grandmother and sister. The sword god quickly refuses as he cut ties with the physical world. Moreover, Dokgojin isn't from his world. Against his will, the sword god's spirit is pulled into Dokgojin's body. He could have left the body, but something stopped him. The Otherworlders, the monster that invaded the sword god's world, have begun their first phase of invasion on Dokgojin's world. The sword god, seeing a chance at revenge and also a way to save people, takes up the challenge. He is seen walking as he jumps into a dungeon. He meets hunters who ask him to turn back because they fear he might die from dangerous monsters. Sword god chuckles and ignores them when one of the hunters wants to attack. Little did he know they know that the sword god was more of a monster than any monster in the dungeon. We see a ridiculously huge orc staring down at sword god very hard. It attacks when with just one step, the sword god evades the attack. With the look of anger and disgust on his face, he cuts off the monster's head with his fingers, calling the monsters of this world weak. He picks up a mana stone and a sword from the ground. We see more orcs behind him as the fight is far from over. He throws stone to destroy the face of the closest orc. We see agents from the Hunter Association running towards Sword God's direction. They are coming at him because Sword God hadn't registered as a hunter, so he is being deemed as a criminal. We see the leg of the Sword God mid-air as he strikes the back of the last orc's head. He picks up his bag as we see the hunter agents standing in front of him. One hunter brings out handcuffs and holds Sword God's hand. Sword God grabs the agent's hand instead, squeezing it. He tells the agents to get lost before he unleashes hell on them. The agents adhere to the challenge as they bring out baton teasers. Honestly speaking, people don't listen when you try to talk to them peacefully. They attack as Sword God blocks them. He dodges a blow and knee kicks an agent in the ribs. He does a back kick on another and grabs the next agent's face, throwing him away. After some time, Sword God tries to sell his mana stones as he realizes that he is about to be scammed. He plans to leave when the salesman rudely holds his hand and calls out to C-rank hunters, who are his bodyguards. They start to walk out as we see Sword God outnumbered. After some few minutes, we see the C-rank hunters scattered on the furniture whilst unconscious. Sword God goes home and meets with Dokgojin's grandma and Yeol, his sister. Loan sharks come to his place, threatening them. He punches one in the face, knocking him out. He prompts them to be expecting him, because he will be coming over to destroy them. He takes Yang out as we see his stepsister come to him. She starts to belittle them in public. We see the anger shown on Sword God's face as he also verbally insults his stepsister. Just then, his stepmother, who is a hypocrite, comes as she acts lovey-dovey. Sword God coldly replies her saying this: "Don't act like we are in a friendly relationship. I'm spending time with my sisters, so get lost." With shame and disgrace, the stepmother walks into her car and moves. It seems that the stepmother paid a B-rank hunter to kill Dokgojin, and that was how he died. We see Sword God in front of the loan shark's office. He enters as he requests money from them. It turns out that The interest Dojin paid for the loan he took was 10 times the original amount. The lone boss also calls out to his hunters as they surround Sword God. He tends to walk away when Sword God, with a commanding voice, tells the lone boss to sit down for he isn't done talking. A hunter with glasses stands in front of Sword God as he is strongly punched in the face. He punches the others and dodges the last person's attack. He counters with a blow as he tells them all to do a fake hunter's license for him. The lone boss reveals that it was Dojin's stepmother who asked them to drain Dojin financially. We see Sword God entering a dungeon to hunt. He meets venomous snakes as he wears his claw gloves. The first snake shoots its tongue when with one swoop, the Sword God takes out its core. He slices the other snakes as he finally reaches the boss serpent. He prepares a punch and smashes through the snake. It doesn't work as the scales of the snake prove to be tough. He is pushed to hit the wall as he dodges an attack. Seeing that not even 1% of his power as the Sword God has returned, he picks up an old sword. Using his slashing technique, he moves with the wind, cutting and killing the serpent boss. We see the owner of the shop that bought Sword God's mana stones. His company normally takes 40% of the mana stones they refine, but Sword God only gave them 1%. He calls his niece, who is an S-rank hunter, a force to reckon with, a woman with power equated to be a natural disaster. We see Sword God meditating in his compound. He senses a dungeon break as he takes Yang inside. He enters the Dokgojin in an attempt to kill all the monsters when he sees the world tree, a tree that refines and purifies mana. Sword God sits in front of the tree as he meditates for almost a month straight. Vulcans, the enemies of the world tree, come by as Sword God vows to protect it. The Vulcans attack when Sword God lifts his hand. The power holds the monsters at bay as he swoops in and grabs their faces. He smashes the heads of 2 Vulcans together and moves to kill the others. Runestone and fire attribute stones fall to the ground. Sword God picks them up, absorbing the stones as he grows stronger and stronger. To my lovely viewers who cannot wait to watch the next part of this video, let me ask you this question. Do you think the Sword God is powerful enough to take on an S-ranker who is deemed as a natural disaster? Subscribe to the channel to watch the next part of this video. To be continued.